Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CFS PH IMPACT Summer 2026. Bago nga lahat, huminga po ako ng dispensa para po sa ating manonood after natin maaberya sa ating broadcast po. Inaayos na po ng prod ngayon ng ating mga tech issues para dire-diretso po ang ating panonood. Sa mga naapektuhan po ngayon na malakas na ulan, ingat po tayong lahat at panatili na lang po tayo sa ating mga bahay, sa mga indoors, kumbaga. Pero guys, kahit na nga bang malakas ang ulan nga natin, ang pag-uulan ng balad naman ng ex-governors at ESports ay ipagpapatuloy nga po natin. Sa kasamaang palad nga po, dahil nga po sa tech difficulty na naitamo natin, kailangan po natin magtawag ng dead round sa ating round number yan. Kaya ngayon, 0-0 pa rin tayo for both ex-governors and eSports as per our tournament referee. So nga po guys, wala talaga guys, wala tayo mapipigilan, hindi natin magagawa yun. Tanging langit na mismo yung nagalit sa atin. Sobrang lakas daw kasi ng JY at ex-governors.
Kailangan muna natin na magpahinga, pinalamig muna yung mga bahay mismo ito ng ating mga players ng JY sa XGov. Actually, for JY, hindi natin sure na ulan. Sana hindi naman malakas yung ulan or yung panahon dyan sa Davao. Hindi masyadong mainit, hindi masyadong malamig, hindi masyadong tag-ulan. Pero dito sa atin, sa NCR, sa Luzon, medyo umuulan-ulan na sa iba't ibang parte ng bansa or ng Luzon mismo. Kahit dito sa lugar ko, medyo naulan-ulan na rin. So, onti nga na lang, antay lang tayo while we get back into the game of port. And i-erase muna natin yung mga nangyari from that previous round na nakita niyo mga kaibigan. Balik tayo sa 0-0. Pero ito na nga, pa-start na tayo, Salvatore, with our game going in to port once more. At sana yung init ng mga players natin hindi nawala. Same as before. Ex-governors will be on the BL side and JY will be on the GR side. And very different approach this time, Walang aggressive dito sa may CA, dito sa may mid, dito sa may LA. Kasi kanina yun nangyari, May bumipick na ng LA, tapos bigla tayo nagbang. Nawala. For this time, mid naman ng punteriya ng JY at si Nomad ang mauna.
Yan nga pre, parang nagawa nga nila kanina sa LA, pero parang since nawala si Jason nga doon, definitely from the shot na binabato nga nila Son at Brian kanina, it's a very good play nonetheless, So, ex-governors already has a huge point sa kanilang column nga ngayon. At syempre, ex-governors with a very tough first half. Kailangan ma-maximize man muna nila dito yung mga mahihirap na rounds bago nga talaga sila makausad. Pero syempre, since maaga makakapwesto silang Nomad dito lang sa may CA, they finally found the rotating DLR.
Exactly, What that first pick, I feel like this situation for side of JY is kind of okay, pero time siguro yung concern natin dito para sa XGV. Kailangan nila gumawa ng galaw dito, pero mauna pa nga si Brian, he's gonna get one. At pilit na ngayon ang XGov.
Kaya mo, pre, hirap na hirap talaga ang ex-governors dito kasi the mid round is not really suited for these kinds of scenarios, pre. Jason, kitang-kita sa may Dorby and Son. Free firing everyone sa mga gustong sumubok. Hanshu left alone in trouble. 3 piso sa mga karamihan ng members. But I do feel like it is still doable knowing yung situation dito ni Nomad at Son. Teka lang, I just feel like na kailangan nga nilang magsani pwesta na nga lang dito, Go for the double pick. And now Hanshu, nakita na sa Escopa ni Franz. JY starts it off.
Exactly. Ganda ng ginawa dito ng JY, Talagang pinigaan nila dito yung ex-governors na gumalaw kahit napakaunti na lang na miyembro nila. And that is something that you should be doing dito as a GR side, Start for JY. You got the first pick, good. Pero para mataranta lalo dito yung XGov, kuha pa kayo ng timing. And ang ganda ng timing sa House B. They got what they wanted and they got the round. So this time, they will find someone dito sa CA, the Virtus Pro start or strat dito para sa side ng XGov at mukhang paparaan ng DL ito, pero nakamarka si Franz sa opposite end, dito sa may tape. Depende nila kung makiklear ni Nomad, pero hindi Sige na go Ninja at baka siya pa nga yung maklear.
Ang DLR. Good pick over to Nomad. At parang feeling ko, ex-governors, they're just punishing itong slight overextension ng JY na hindi naman dapat nangyayari. Na ex-governors, entering into the site na may onting pagkahilaw. Good pop flash pero parang wala naman atang naapektuhan dito at talagang sinasagasaan lang ng ex-governors. Pinapakita ang kanilang level ng opensa. Hanshu and OB clearing it out. Brian tumatagal, wala namang nakuha kahit libreng-libre ang pwesto nila OB and France. Yung Arctic player pa talaga ang natira. Sa likod ng mga uso, ang hirap patamaan yan. Ex-governors, beautiful entry.
Sabihin na lang natin, mali din ng JY, na hindi sila naging wary sa pag-clear ng CA Salvatore. Si Nomad, well, wala na tayong magagawa sa kanya na hindi niya pinasok mismo no? Kailangan lagi kang may mata dyan sa CA angle na yan kasi alam mo naman sa Master, Virtus Pro, one of the leading teams in port, they always take CA. So kung nanonood man itong mga players na to, if ever they are VOD reviewing yung mga teams na sa Masters, dapat alam na nila kung ano yung nangyayari dyan, no? It's always a must do dito for both sides to take or re-clear that area. Pero so far, with the 1-to-1, sisimplihan lang dito ng ating ex-gov dito sa Storby pero naka-ready si Ared at saka si Brian.
Shots, grabe, niratulan lang siya ni Hancho dito Ared just getting outgunned. Sa mga P6 na hindi niya man lang inaakala na pwede nga mangyari yun. Look at the elevated offense now for ex-governors. DLR now. Alay lang dito para sa side ng XGV. Parang akala ata nila may rotation na magaganap dito lang sa mid kaya nag-hesitate nga sila. Brian now repositioning, beautiful decision pero honestly doon na lang sana ako sa platform. Pero teka lang, OB sumasubok, Brian nakaltokan pa nga and there goes SDL punishing it out. Now France, parating na. France can hit the cold, beautiful shot, 2v2, 2v1, Hancho na naman. And they make it another situation of a clutch para sa side ng JY at XGV. Son 45, Jessan, nasaan ang C4? Nasa harapan niya lang. All the advantage para kay Jessan. Knowing na 100 HP siya. With presence of mind para kay Jessan, i-clear nga muna yung HP at talagang pinapalapit niya si Son. The threat within the site is definitely yung C4 na yan. Nadutdutan na yung mga numbers, pre, si Son. Anong numbers ang papabor at lalabas para ka sa kanya? Is it going to be 2-1 or 1-2? 45 HP, 20 seconds. Kiniklear niya na lahat. Walang dulo, walang gate. For sure, HB na lang nilalaro to ni Jessan. 13 seconds left now. Jessan, can I get the spray? Son with the headshot. Sa dami pa ng oras, pwede pa magsaing. But Son sees the better numbers. 2-1, pabor ang JY.
Sayang yung attempt dito para sa XGV. No, all you had to do was hide deeper, pare. Pwede mo namang masipat yung tanim dito, no, sa house B dun sa bintana, pero wala kailangan niya talagang labanan kasi I'll feel niya with the time remaining pwedeng ini-stick ng di niya alam, di niya ata narinig, siguro ganun yung pumapabor sa kanyang isip. Pero the push by JY sa LA, no, strong as 3, will just remember na may tao pa dito sa may house B at mapupulutan sila ng trade pero lamang pa rin ang XGV dito. They're gonna get the site and the retake has to happen for JY.
Is it possible? Is it doable? Is it winnable? Para sa JY, no U-turns whatsoever. Kaso nga lang, ayun. High explosive grenade. Very highly explosive para dito kay STL. So now, huge clear. Dito lang sa may HP. Kanya-kanyang pwesto na nga dito para sa ex-governors. Kailangan nila makuha kagad si Ared para makatungo ng HP. Pero hindi pa nila nahanap si DLR na gumagawa ka ng milagro. There goes France. Another round. JY Davao showcasing the strong side of the map. 2 retakes. Magkakasunod. The ex-governors, wala pa rin rebat.
Yun nga dire-diretso lang itong JY as much as XGV. Nasa position sila. Imagine mo yun, dalawa yung natanggal pero sila pa rin nanalo, JY, no? Very uncomfortable situation dito para sa XGV. They're gonna get the initial 2 picks again. And it's a 3v5 Salvatore. Yung ating mga players dito sa JY, sure, they might be failing at the start of the round pero you have to be wary pa rin dito sa ating execute ng XGV kasi minsan dyan sila pumapalya.
Pero teka lang ha, ex-governors, napaka-desperate na attempt naman ito para makuha kagad ang LA at nakabakante nga nila kagad to because JY refuses to put somebody sa loob nga ng A site. Because of that, JY being left with a 3v4 scenario, hindi na bago para sa kanila to. Nagawa nga nila ng 2 beses no? Mahirap na angle para nga kay Nomad, lalo't may mga nakatungo pa sa may top A, Jason on ladder. Medyo na corner na nga, Jason, wala man lang nagawa. Is it possible, El? Are they gonna do it again? They did it once more. 3v5. Definitely winnable, JY. Tama na kayo.
Ay, para sa ExGov, no? +2 kayo dun. You are up by 2 members and you lose just like that. Siguro sa kalat ng JY sila natalo, pero kailangan nakatuwa kayo, ExGov eh. Tingnan nyo, pag tumumba na naman tong 2 players sa Store B, pumunta naman kayo ng LA, no? Tapos natalo kayo, well, something is up talaga. At hindi nyo masisisi sa JY yun, masisisi nyo lang sarili nyo, no? No one to blame but yourselves. And those kinds of losses, Salvatore, they're gonna get themselves dito sa ating CAD. Alam, nandito na naman. Pero hanggang dun lang siguro yung kanilang kukunin muna. They're gonna let the time cook down. And while they are at it, hold dito sa may mid, wala, aalis. Waiting for siguro a bit of aggression for JY, pero comfortable na sa lead. Tandaan mo yan. And yun na lang yung inaantay nila, no? Yung paglapit ng ExGov, kasi alam na nila na kahit 3v5 kaya nila, why not just let them go into the site at i-welcome pa natin.
Hindi lang yun basta isang presensya ni Son. Literally had presence in 3 rounds. Lahat ng yun, entry, definitely good shots para sa retake ngayon. It was a good attempt para kunin yung LA. Na-clear naman nila na maayos, pre. But the mere fact na hindi na-clear ni Jason yung tao sa LA really feels like na kailangan iba na yung pagtunan ng pansin dito na ex-governors pagdating sa role assignment. Kasi tila nawawala na lang talaga lahat eh. No? I don't know why. Dito pa talaga nagkatalo ang ex-governors sa kanilang pag-iisip. Nomad, good decision to reposition. 33 seconds to set up the crossfire para magulat si DLR. Huling-huling nga talaga sa mapa na ex-governors. Doing their own bidding. Amazing pangraratol para dito kay SDL with the triple kill. OB now finally hitting. Napakaganda nga namang entry dito para kay Boss Shandel. SDL opening it up for his team. I think wasn't stopped sa kanyang pursuit doon. JY. There should be an adjustment in the corner. Pero men, JY, is it possible? Para dito kay Nomad, high-low to medyo mahirap nga to. Nomad na piso na nga, buti na lang nilaro nga nila yung wall back. And it was definitely called for para sa ex-governors na i-play ang man advantage. Grabe men, 3 beses silang madadapa, pero eto na yung unti-unti nga nilang pagbangon.
At least, no? Around nila to yun dito para sa ex-governor. Very, sabi natin, anticlimactic yung nangyayari dito sa laban natin. No? Very methodical yung laro nila. This push though, not as methodical as I want. Dahil sa DLR yung sasalo, France. Shot needs to be good, but no, he falls down at walang trade dito para sa JY. Matatanim din sa dulo si Son, no? Pero magiging useful lang siya kapag bumalik ng A itong ExGov, no? Mukhang hindi naman nila yun balak dahil nakakarinig sila ng miyembro dito sa ating labasan ng House B, naghahagis ng flashes, no? Will take a bit of damage, pero not to worry about, no? This one, Salvatore. Diretso niya lang. Siguro ExGov, pag yun ang lutuin pa katulad na sa Ankara, let's see it. House B will be taken. Jason still marking mid. He's gonna try to go for the fake. Pero kakagat din tong ExGov sa store B natin. Pero wait, hindi daw. Komplikahin pa natin. Sige. Joke lang. They're gonna go straight after a few moments.
Pag
no? Si Brian
nagpa-LA pa kasi pre, mahirap eh. Yun lang pre. Pag nagpa-LA pa sila masyadong mahirap. Nakapag-preamp na nga sila dito sa may HP. So okay na yan siguro. Unless Makagawa na isang maganda play dito si Son. Jason, walang tumatama sa kanya. DLR naging piso pa nga talaga. What is happening, ExGOVERNORS? Nasa HB na kayo. Baka gusto pa nilang kalabanin nga dito si Son, na nasa metal na nga. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they now finally found the metal player. Kaso napupush din naman sila ni Ared with the kill of his own. Nomad now, rotation mula sa Z.
Uy,
at basang-basa niya na may dalawa na CA. Bomb drop pa nga talaga. And OB gets picked. This is the mistake. Yun yung sinasabi ko, pre. Nasa HB na kayo, lulusubin nyo na lang. Kinagat kayo ng sarili nyong panghihinayang. Jason left alone. 1v3. Doesn't land a shot. Gets the second. Pero pre, yung C4 naiwan sa gitna ng dagat at masyadong malayo, men. White flag raised. ExGOVERNORS. A fumble in the round.
Ang hirap ang hirap gawan ng kwento dito na ExGOVERNORS kasi nandun na no? Kumbaga, nandiyan na yung pagkain sa harapan mo, ngunguyain mo na lang. Pero ang dami pang nilagyan na sausawan dito ni ExGOVERNORS sa kanilang kanin. Yung tuloy, toyo na lang malalasahan mo. Pero yun nga, no, medyo tinutoyo dito sa OB. Trying to go for a push. Makakuha siya ng isa. Pero eto na naman tayo, no? Adding too many condiments. Ketchup, suka, garlic chips. Ano pa? Kung pwede. Chives. Gano'n ba kayo ka-arte? Lalagyan nyo ba ng lahat-lahat? Ang daming pakulo dito ng ExGOVERNOR. Why not just take a secondary space and then execute from it? Pero hindi Hindi sila ganun They were just waiting for another move. Maybe more. And JY, they might be willing to play the game even if they're one man down, Salvatore. So far, House B pa rin yung puntirin nila. Si Nomad nandito. And he's about to meet a duel. He's gonna lose it out. Jason, good on the shot. At finally, ExGOVERNOR. Hindi pa rin gagalaw. Si Brian dito na.
Ryan, good shots. Napigilan ng onte. Pero masyado pang lamang ang tao dito na ExGOVERNORS. Good efforts para kay Brian. Pero hindi nga ito mararamdaman masyado ng JY. Son, 10 kills, 9 headshots. Need to get 13. Huge task para dito kay Son na i-clear to na pa isa-isa. Jason masyadong open ang kanyang pwesto. Not really an open position for the trade. Jason now swinging and Jason missing. Finally, DLR opens up para matulungan ang kanyang kapitan. Franz nahihirapan, hindi pa patama. 20 seconds left on the clock habang nalipad. Jason adjusts with the EBR. ExGOVERNORS nandito pa naman sa laro. Quite messy pero may nakakancel nila yung pag-pop off dito ni Son.
Parang no? Sinabi natin yung laban na to, Pacquiao Mayweather, tapos magyayakapan lang sila. Yun siguro yung best analogy ko dito, Salvatore, sa laban natin. No? It's not quite delivering to the names that have been put in here sa laban natin. No? Or like, kung sino man yung pinag-aaway na, or nag-aaway naman talaga. It's not quite a fight that we're seeing. It's more like a secret hatred for each other. Let's see though if France will make ExGov hate pushing this LA angle. They're setting up for the utility. It seems like naghahawak sila mga smoke flashes dito. At si France very much waiting for the first pick.
Grabe pre. Not really a safe route. At ayan na pre. Buti na nga lang. Meron pang nades na ibabato dito ang ExGOVERNORS top A kahit napakaganda nga niyan. It was called Godbox at one point pero men parang hindi na ata yun yung nagiging kaso doon because France napakalakas ng head glitch nung mapa ng position niya pero ginaganon lang siya ng ExGOVERNORS. 2 kills already in the board here for XGV. Nomad walang balak siguro.
Oy!
Na lang to. Tas siya pa talaga natalo, pre. Nomad, medyo mabagal na kumilos at si DLR. Dala-dala na ang kanyang four-wheeler, pre. At sinasagasaan niya lahat ng dadaan sa harapan niya. Jessa now, amazing parkour. Took his time. Crosshair trade, Jessan. Finishing the first half para sa ExGOVERNORS. 4-5 na naman tayo para sa ating first half.
Finally, Jason, in a positive note dito, no? After natin mag-side switch, kaya pa to para sa ExGov. Maybe BL is not their cup of tea. dito sa port, no? Salvatore. It might just be the GR side na nakita naman natin kanina. Doon sila pumapabor sa Ankara. And I feel like same scoreline ata to, no? For JY and ExGov in Ankara din sa ating halftime. We're gonna have to find out though if it's the same situation for ExGov where they find their grooving again once more. JY, baka nga mas passive pa sila dito kaysa sa ex-governors, no? Very much waiting sa kung ano man yung mangyari na galawan dito ng XGV. But the LA push will come. Ryan is going to be waiting.
Ryan, waiting. Nag-aayos pa siya ng crosser dito, pre. Pero buti na nga lang nakakuha nga siya ng isa. Huge adjustment here for JY to force these kinds of fights, pre. Habang hindi pa nakapwesto masyado mga members ng ex-governors sa mga kanya-kanyang mga poste. DLR, quick trade. Kita mo nga naman, oh, talagang tinatrabaho niya itong HB na to, pre, na parang gusto niya gumawa na sarili niyang bahay. Pero syempre hindi niya papaupa para sa mga members ng JY. Both Nomad, Brian, Piso. Pero back off muna sila.
Ang chill, no? Ang agresibo pa nating pinresent tong dalawang teams. Tapos ang yung laruan nila, ang chill. Taking their time, playing it slow, nagpapaka-masters in terms of galawan. Pero yung execution, medyo, may ano pa, may pagka-impact pa talaga, no? May pagka-impact sa galawan. Nomad, though, will find DLR swinging wildly. And that will give the man advantage dito sa JY. Pero look at their HP bars, no? Si Hangshu, kaya niya patumbahin lahat yan. Pero wala siyang makikitang mga members dito ng JY. Only one. It's going to be Son. Front line. France, katulong. 3v3 tayo.
3v2 na nga eh. Mabilisan lang din. Jessan nakatalon pa. Gets a very good reposition. Double scope. And it hit. Kaso si Nomad pumapalikod. Low HP Nomad. Full HP France. Winnable for SDL. Nagawa niya kanina sa Ankara. Needs to do it again. Good headshot. France now committing to the plant. Nakaltukan. And SDL another 1v2. Clutch in his name. Ex-Governors. Grabe nga naman talaga. The GR switch. Di man lang pinagpawisan.
It's the same situation. Deja vu ata tayo ng Ankara eh. Nakuha din ng SGV yung first round dun eh. And now, JY, they're gonna start rushing LA. Prepared ba dito? Sa Jessan.
Man, spray down. Huge shots landing. At napapabuti nga nila yung sitwasyon dito, no, for the side of ex-governors. Despite the missing Jessan, tinan mo naman, pre. Malambot na Nomad, Son, as well as Arid. It is definitely winnable here for ex-governors, but JY, how can they make it work? Knowing na piso-piso na nga lang sila. OB! Masyadong minaliit ang pwede dito lang sa may top A, pre. At ano pong ginagawa natin? Ex-governors, tila na wala na lahat ng nangyari. Nabitawan na lahat ng mga baril. At 5v2 na nga lang bigla. SDL now pushing France. May iwan. And there goes 1 out of 5. Tapos B-side pa yung gustong kunin dito ng J1. Masyado mahirap to para sa dalawang members ng XGV.
Mahuhuli ata nila yung transition. Salvatore, hawak-hawak dito yung bomba.
Oh, napakaganda. Spray! Masyadong naging maingay ang LB. Grabe naman yun. Good read for ex-governors. Pero syempre, kulang sila ng tauhan para mabalanse man lang ang binato ng JY. 6-5.
Ang hirap nung situation sa last round. Naghagis ng granada dito. Yung, si Jessan ba yun? Si OB. Rather, or wait, actually it's Hangshu, no? Yung naghagis ng HE dito sa LA. Pero kailangan kasama yung HE din ni Jessan. Kasi kung isa lang yan, chip damage lang yan. Yung dalawa, more than half HP matatanggal mo. Tukoma bet sa JY, pero yun nga no? Walang kaakibat na push, walang kaakibat na tulong. Hangshu trying to peek if merong tao sa CA. They're gonna use that HE finally. Utility sparsely being used, but the peaks very aggressive para kay Hangshu. They're going mid now. Split na dito sa B para sa JY.
Okay, fired the hole. Ared, pwede pa solo ka. Oh, there it is! The aware si Ared. Akala niya flash. Di na lang. Di double check. Man, ex-governors, they can shine with one play. Tapos bilang parang matatapon na lang ata nila yung kumpiyansa nga nila through the window with an awkward play after that. Man, they're still shining. 3v2 pa rin naman tayo ngayon. ExGOVERNOR seeing Nomad in broad daylight. Brian now trying to recover para matulungan ang kanyang IGL ngayon. Nahuli sa scope and Jessan with the double kill. Binoga ang dalawa. Muara play ExGOVERNORs utilizing the strong side.
Jason highlights in the big 2026. Would you look at that, no? He's going positive, pare. Everything seems to be going right dito para sa side ng XGV. The only thing that's not positive is OB, no? Much as he's doing his job, well, he's taking the brunt of like the deaths dito for his team. But as long as the job gets done, no? I would take a negative KDO anytime for a win. And I feel like XGV, yung form nila ngayon, poised and ready para i-take yung 2-0 and to end the discussion sa social media once and for all. France trying to get HB dito para sa ating mga tropa ng JY pero dalawa yung naka-crossfire.
Copy naman to. Yung Boga, di nakapag-adjust kagad sa Nomad and baka mapaganda pa para kay STL. France re-peaking with low HP. Bad decision. Hinold na lang muna sana. ExGOVERNORs now reaping the rewards na meron nga silang man advantage nga ngayon and they're trying to stay passive except dito kay Hanshu. But the rest, kita mo nga naman, puro power positions lang.
Power positions indeed because they don't really need to do anything. They currently have the upper hand and kung magkamali pa sila ng galaw, no, any reposition can turn into a disadvantage. SDL sa may God box, ready and waiting for the members of JY to hit. Kasama man dito si OB for support and ito na nga, diretso na sila.
ExGOVERNORs now, can they get the defense? So far, oo naman ang nagiging sagot nga nila and purong deja vu lang na nakikita natin sa loob nga ng port is ExGOVERNORs pushing the lead to just 1. Pero okay na yan, they need all the lead that they can.
Ito na naman, 5-man push Storby Salvatore.
Okay na lang. Pero si Jason lang ang nakatao dito, no pre, hindi EBR ang gamit niya. Arctic to. Nandyan si DLR bilang insurance. JY pinagpipilitan tong LB nga na to. Pero ni-util dump. Ayan, natauhan na nga sila para lumayo. Good decision for JY.
Ang kulit ng push nila dito sa Storby. No? Usually, if that's any other Masters team, ibabaan ko talaga nila ng buuan dito sa Storby yung laban nila. As well as the GR side, no? Papalag ng papalag. Dito, maghagis ka lang ng smoke. Matatakot lahat eh. Reset tayo yung kinukol nila. And I feel like the round could have been decided there. In favor pa nga siguro ng JY kung pinush na nila. Pero they opted for the second option, no? The safer option, yes. But is it the more winning option? With that shot, it seems so. But yung trade ni Jessan, just turns it right back dito sa XGV. Man advantage pa rin sila. Jessan, the shots are hitting for him. He's online.
Yeah, 12 and 7 pre. Para dito kay Jessan, a huge contrast from what we see from the .53 KD niya kanina sa Ankara. Parang ano eh. Pinihit lang ng onti dito yung makines. Okay na pre. Para dito kay Boss Jessan. Arid and Son. Combining the forces. Clearing out Z. Itong pati rin tong HP. DLRD kailangan pumig. Pero tinauhan na nga kagad siya. Buti na nga lang tamang-tamang pagkakatago niya. DLR now suspecting.
Oy!
Pero DLR, di mo kailangan gawin. DLR, bakit ganun? There goes the flash. Masyadong malabo. DLR, kalmahan mo! Gusto mo ba maging full time, pre? Kung gusto mo maging full time, di dapat ginagawa yan. Arid now. Trying to land some shots. Hanshu. Mid-side. Nilalaro ang A-sign. Arid. There goes the spray. Hanshu gets the kill. 4v2. Son and France.
Ipit na.
Still, Son, top fragger. Son, makakuha nga ng spray. France hindi na makakuha ng kill pero ikutan nga siya ni OB. Gets the headshot. And OB, crosshair train kay France. ExGOVERNORs pushing it to 8.
Finally, nagkaroon ng separation dito para sa ExGOVERNORs. No? Similarly, katulad sa Ankara, nung nakakuha sila ng lamang, they almost never looked back. JY, they need to change the scenario, no? Arid in France. Ano si Nomad ng sniper? Alam niyo, magsimula kayo ng triple Arctic, tapos magpalit na lang kayo kapag wala kayong napulot. No? Tumayo kayo dyan sa may RS box. Tingnan natin kung makakaano kayo ng pitas. Kasi usually, XGV talaga may pumipik dyan sa mid, no? It might be Jessan, it might be OB, it might be Hangshu. Any one of those prime targets para dito sa JY, no, makuha lang nila yung man advantage. And I feel like if you want to be in a position where you can execute cleanly, no, kailangan nila confidence. Tapang lang for JY. They do not need to waste time like this. Lalo na kapag yung positioning nila, wala naman silang binibait na util, wala silang tinatrade na util. Tingnan mo yung mga, ano nila, yung mga sinturon nila. 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3 pa yun nandito sa util. You need to be using that, no? Bait at least something out dito sa XGV. Kasi kung hindi, baka kayo pa yung mapunteriya.
You don't want that to happen. Kind of feels odd, the JY. They want their attackers to shine, pre, no? Feeling ko, dahil nga nag-pop up season, feeling ko nakakatulong to para sa performance sila France at Red, no? Pero hindi pa rin, pre. They're still being left behind. At syempre, hindi lang dapat si Son ang gumagawa dito. Nice check from Hanshu. Not even wrong para kay Son na i-push yun. The mere fact na napag-iiwanan na naman dito sila Nomad para masamahan ng trade. Brian with all the information still not budging. Yun, Brian, Ared, pushing, Jessan, nakabantay. Grabe nga naman kung pumake ng top 8 tong si Jessan. Gets the quick scope laban dito kay Red. At bababa na nga si Jessan with the adjustment. Napakaganda naman nun para dito kay France. But still, huge man advantage para ka sa ex-Governors. Hanshu hindi nga na-checkan sa box. OB, swinging. France nakita, tumatalo ng jumping jologs na si OB. 9-6 ex-Governors, hindi mapigilan sa GR.
At baka mapa-shut up na nga dito, no? Ang side ng Davao sa kanilang Vuelta Balento sa social media, medyo it's looking one-sided. I'm not gonna lie, Salvatore. Even yung angkara natin, the longer it went dito sa GR side nun, the more I feel like SGV was in the right in terms of their macro. It seems like it's the same situation, Ared and OB. Sige, konti pa, magkikita din kayo. Nagkasalinsinan lang sila dito sa peak dito sa may mid-Z, pero JY, you know, this has not been working for you. The individuality dito ng SGV is what is breaking you guys down. You need to snowball. Pero yung Hanshu.
Hanshu double kill, pre. Ay nako, pre, JY patay na lahat ng mga camera, pre. Ginagawa na namin ang lahat para di makita ng buong madla. Anong nangyayari sa JY Davao ex-Governors with an emphatic port? Not just yet. DLR pushing. Alam na nga si Nomad na isumbong na nga ng ayos. 68 HP, Nomad. Magpakita ka na, lumabas ka! Lumabas ka! Pinagkakailangan, what an ender, DLR! Tama nga si Hanshu! Ex-Governors, 2-0 JY Davao.
Make sure lang pala na mananalo bago gumawa ng flavor of the month dito. Itong SGov, no? Parang binitin tayo ng binitin, tapos gagawin din namin, Salvatore. Parang, ito tulong. You could have done that when you guys were winning suddenly dito sa GR side nyo. Parang konting drop gun, konting spam lang ng bullets, pwede na, pero they had to send a message. At yun na nga, no? Talagang binigyan ng condolences dito ang ating mga Davaoeños and ex-Governors with a 2-0 cleanly. I think the debate sa social media is going to be settled, no? At may mag-iingay pa yan. Syempre, they're gonna rub it in pa. Konting salt pa dito sa ating mga sugat.
Ex-Governors getting their second win with a statement na they're on their way, pre. Inuunti-unti na lang talaga nila ang palapag nga dito bago nga nila makita ang bright lights ng playoffs or better yet, the regionals itself, no? Pero congratulations for ex-Governors. JY Davao needs some work sa kanilang second half, pre. They have the presence, they have the showmanship, pero pre, pag tulad na lang din talaga ng HazMatz kanina, tila napapako sila sa mga 2 or 3 kills. Pre, this is JY that got 3 rounds of a clutch. JY tila wala man lang nagamit ng momentum doon bilang motivation o kaya lakas para maging fired up ang JY. Pero man, ex-Governors men, grabe naman talaga yung pag-restart ng kanilang makina heading into the second half. And the shots from Jason, yung mga lurks dito nila STL, Hanshu being the best anchor player inside the lobby. Feeling ko pre, recipe talaga for success yung ginawa na ex-governors doon.
GR side talaga, no? Doon sila nag-shine. As much as may struggle talaga yung mga teams natin sa Impact sa BL side nila, wherein masyadong passive yung galawan na, of course, makita din natin sa Masters na. Pero this time, it's just passiveness. Ang hirap makita ng ganun, lalo na for both teams. Pero the one who can capitalize that passiveness and turn that into a winning scenario, yung mananalo. So, this one, stats don't lie. Hangshu popped off. He's delivering a message.
The message sent and heard loud and clear. Grabe nga naman talaga pre. Look at the insane numbers, man. 2.25 Hanshu. Grabe, man. I don't wanna say it, pero siya na mismo nagpapasabi sa atin pre na tama nga talaga si Hanshu pre. And ex-governors just increasing their stocks bago nga tayo mag-playoffs no? 2 impressive wins already sa kanilang column, and despite the Nomad and Son pop-off pre, eto nga pala ang ex-governors na lahat gumana. No? 5 gulong, pati reserba na paikot nila laban dito sa JY na tila motor lang talaga. No? 2 gulong lang ang kanilang napaikot ngayon. Set MVP, no debate pre. Sino pa ba pre? Wala nang iba. Hanshu! Grabe nga naman, kahit anong tutorial pa yan pre, mo naman, tinuruan nga pala ang JY Davao paano nga pala maglaro ng CF sa loob nga ng series na to. And Hanshu, my God, 2.25 KD to close it up.
Exactly, no? It's just a message delivered dito. And siya pa nga talaga yung pinag-MVP natin. I mean, his performance said it all. The way na nandun siya sa gitna ng mga setups sa Ankara support to receive sa GR side, it's really, really great to see him here on the screen dahil siya nga yung may pakana ng mga setup na yon, and he just made sure na he's gonna do it himself, no? In terms of the killings, in terms of the setups, he wants to be right in the middle, and that is where he is at. Ito yung score nga pala natin sa dalawang mapa natin ng mga kaibigan. 8-10 sa Ankara, 6-10 sa Port. Parang yung Ankara lang siguro yung pinaka-chance dito ng JY to push for the Black Widow, pero end of the day, no, hindi nila kinaya yung GR side dito ng ating ex-governors. Maybe kung makakapili sila ng side, they should have started at as a BL, pero wala eh. Mahirap sabihin na kahit mag-BL start sila, kakayanin pa rin nila yung GR dito ng ex-gov.
And magiging what if na lang talaga siya para sa side ng JY as they move on for another day. Match MVP para mas maging malalim pa ang sugat. Ito nga pala si Hanshu. 1.63 KD para sa main man ng ex-governors and a .44 smokes per round. Clearly, yung util para sa kanya ay isang malaking gastos. Pero tinan mo nga naman, money well spent para dito kay Hanshu para mapabuti lang dito ang sitwasyon ng ex-governors. Congratulations once again for that emphatic 2-0. Finally, closing the chapter para nga sa usaping Hanshu versus Davao. No? And man, Hanshu scoring that 2-0. Ang Malatreyang lang ang datingan niya dito laban sa New York Knicks. Pre, ex-governors, amazing gameplay. At bago nga tayo magsibabay, no, Boss El, baka may pa-outro ka tayo dyan.
Medyo delayed lang ako sa pagbati ko, pero shoutout sa ating Tito Queen si Jan sa Macau. Happy belated Father's Day sa inyo, at sa mga tatay no, na hindi pa nababati, happy belated Father's Day sa inyo, guys. At siguro naman alam natin kung sino ang ama dito sa ating series ng JY at XGov, no, si Hangshu talaga. Pero meron pa tayong bakbakan mamaya, pero mag-iba naman ng caster. No? Ito nga pala si El at si Salvatore signing out for the day. Meron pa tayong third match mga kaibigan, kaya after this break, stay tuned dahil magbabalik kami for more Crossfire action.
Magandang hapon mga tropa ko si Joshua, kasama si Emelo, and welcome back to CFS PH IMPACT 2026. Sa summer na tayo ngayon, and this means it's the second chance para sa mga teams na to para umakyat at ipakita yung mga sarili nila dito sa server. Sa ating huling serye ng araw na to pare, EKISQUAD laban si SGJ. Emelo, there is history here, mostly because of the IGLs dito, but there's also pare SGJ's opportunity here to show dito sa group stage natin na kaya pa rin nilang makipagsabayan, kaya pa rin nilang manalo ulit. Kasi men, ang lapit din nila, ganun na lang yung kailangan nilang makuha para makapasok ng Masters. But instead, they're here in Impact where unfortunately they will see your face much more often. No? So wala silang magagawa. They have to go through the gauntlet pare at kailangan nila pakita nila na deserve nilang maipakita yung best nila pagdating ng regional finals.
Yeah, that's why we have our eyes on SGJ. Pero malaman natin, kaibigan, no, as good as they were prior, let's see naman if they can go over the hurdle of Ekis. And ewan ko lang pare, the storyline shaping up for Teng and Tino, it is rather interesting for me. And if, as far as I know, pareho silang sniper. But they're both IGLs as well. So let's see, parang battle of chess, no? Let's see who has the better opening. Let's see who has a better closer, a better mid-game, and then a late finisher. But at the end of the day, no, this being a best of 3, both chances, or a lot of chances, will be presented to both of these IGLs. And besides the IGLs, what do you think naman of these players, Joshua?
Pare, I think right now, no, the easiest thing to look at, pare, is the most recent results. Yung Swiss ng dalawang teams na to, despite SGJ having a chip on their shoulder, meaning na nanalo sila ng Impact Spring but wala sila sa Masters just because they messed up, man. Nagkulang sila, they were not able to peak at the right time during Swiss. At nakita natin may dalawa sila panalo. Pero pare, on the other side of the server, may EKISQUAD tayo dito na walang napanalo ng Swiss, pare. They only won, kung di ako nagkakamali, iisang set lang yung napanalo nila ng Swiss.
Ouch.
At ibig sabihin nun, technically, no, sila yung underdog dito. But man, things have to be said about ㍍Jamero being here. We have to mention Kobeist as well na yung bagong addition dito na nagpapakita ng medyo magandang impact over the last couple of weeks. Pero ito yung map veto natin para sa araw na to. I'm expecting to see yung Venn diagram natin, maybe an Eagle Eye, maybe an Ankara here. But surprisingly enough, no, EKISQUAD opening up with that Eagle Eye ban. Pero pare, I think this is exactly what we expected, no. Black Widow for EKISQUAD, Ankara para sa SGJ, at Port as the decider. Kasi pare, kung tingnan natin yung record nitong dalawang teams, yung Venn diagram ng map pool nilang dalawa, parang circle lang, pare.
Is it really a Venn diagram if it's a circle? Everyone's playing the same maps. And I like how we're going into Black Widow para sa ating unang mapa. Just goes to show na both of these teams are ready. Handa sila na gumawa ng statement towards the other. I guess it's a matter of who gets a proper start pagdating sa unang mapa natin. Everyone knows Black Widow. Everyone knows how to play it. It's just, yun nga, kung sino nga bang makakakuha ng simula and then the momentum moving forward dito sa ating serye.
Yeah, that is true, no? But it also has to be mentioned dito na yung SGJ, they won the spring season for a reason, pare. And hindi sila pwedeng mag-slip up dito. Hindi pwedeng maging sobrang confident knowing na lahat naman ng mga teams dito sa Impact, na we've talked about it back in Masters, back in Impact of Spring, na lumiliit na nga yung gap sa dalawa nating tiers of play dito sa Pilipinas or sa Southeast Asia, in fact. Kaya nga, mas madali nilang bantayan. At makikita mo talaga, there's a lot of tape, a lot of footage on SGJ. So, EKISQUAD, wala akong doubt dito na napanood nila yung Black Widow ng SGJ at parang laruin yun. And they're going to really have to test kung tama nga ba yung napag-aralan nila dito.
Yeah, hindi na pwedeng magkaroon ng matino ang excuse pag when you're going against SGJ. As you mentioned, marami nga silang pwedeng panoorin. For EKISQUAD, on the other hand, would you say na they have the edge? I mean, the predictions contradicting tayo dito, pare. I mean, I'm going for the stat line, no? Pero for EKISQUAD, I was going to say na, do you believe in their edge heading into this? Kasi not a lot of odds, which means marami sila nga pwedeng ibigay na sorpresa dito sa SGJ.
Yeah, and that's true, man. EKISQUAD, they have Kobeist in, they have Ram, who was from Trapstar back in spring, and I think there's a change, pare. Kasi SGJ right now, I'd hate to say it, pare, pero parang nasa fraud watch sila, man. Kasi
a little bit.
How do you win the spring season and not make it, knowing that Atras, the team that you beat, made it into Masters and they could not make it out of the Swiss bracket, pare. Yun yung malaking problema na kailangan ipakita ng SGJ dito na hindi sila nagkamali. It was just one small slip up at kaya nilang umakyat pa sa ganun ulit na level. But I feel like EKISQUAD, man, they're shaping up, they're showing what they can do. And we're gonna be looking at these players for their performances, pare. Lalo na si SGJ, a lot of stress can be said about si Durs dito playing as the backup nung squad na to, no, na alam natin na there was a slump in SGJ's run nung Swiss stage kasi kung di ako nagkakamali, they opened up with 2 wins bago sila nagkaroon ng 3 continuous losses at na-secure yung slot dito sa Impact. Granted, pare, it is Impact. There's a lot of things that you can do in Impact, pero once you've won, what's the next step? And how do you not get a chance to actually make that next step? Ang question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit of an answer, no, pagdating dun sa tanong natin na kung bakit nga ba hindi sila umabot sa Masters is that for SGJ, as you mentioned, they had a little bit of a slip up. Kaso nga lang, pagdating naman sa ating susunod na yugto for SGJ is that they are more aware sa kanilang slip up, their mishaps, and kanilang shortcomings. And with that being said for EKISQUAD, I would argue na despite you saying that they should win this matchup, feeling ko lamang pa rin ng SGJ. Just being more aware is just a matter of them having that proper answer na ito nga talaga yung dapat nating ayusin. And at the same time, ito nga yung dapat nating gawin. Ito yung gumana beforehand, kailangan lang natin ayusin moving forward. And I feel like SGJ, despite having a bit of a shaky run, it's not too bad. Pare, they are still fixing their, or rather, plugging their holes is the best way to put it. They have the edge. Most definitely, pagdating sa serye na to.
Yep, that is true, no? Pero kasi nga, yun nga, balik tayo sa Swiss, no? May konti akong fake news kanina, pero SGJ, looking back on yung itsura dito ng bracket, actually, they lost here sa execration, sa acceptance na,
Fair.
na kapwa nilang galing Impact sa may spring.
Yeah.
And then, bowed out sa comeback friends doon sa pinakahuling round of matches para makapasok ng Masters. So it wasn't as cut and dry as you would think, pero makikita mo dito kung sino
Which
yung
is
quality ng teams na nakalaban nila. And I'd hate to say it, but mukhang lumalabas dito na yung SGJ, they can, it's easy for them to punch down. Pero pag may katunggali silang mas malakas or kapantay nila in terms of level, then questions start forming in the minds ng mga taong nanonood. Kasi pare, I mentioned Atras kanina, pero acceptance got into Masters as well. And yun, galing din naman ng Impact yung acceptance. So what is going on here? What did they lose the sauce? Yun ang malaking tanong para sa squad na to leading into itong group stages natin. And it's something that will chase them, pare. There will be skeletons in their closet para sa buong group stage na to hanggang napakita nila na undoubtedly deserve nilang maglaro at the highest level ng Southeast Asia.
Yeah, I guess a bit of an analogy, no, para naman sa scenario ng netong SGJ is that yung sanay sila sa Paris. Tapos you walk into a fine dining restaurant, you don't know what to order kasi the words don't really make sense to you. So I feel like ganun yung naging sitwasyon nila. There was a little bit of pressure, there was a bit of nervousness, and I think it's fair. They want to compete at a higher scene, a more competitive level, but at the end of the day, they bit off more than they could chew. But yun nga, we've got a good sight of SGJ beforehand noong spring, pero malaman naman natin kung tama na nga ba yung timpla, nagkaroon sila ng konting kasanayan, pag-e-ensayo, papasok naman dito sa summer. Granted, we expected them to get into Masters. Heartbreaking that they didn't. Pero yun nga, at the end of the day, it's another chance. And to finish it off, no, para naman dito sa EKISQUAD, it's a little too hard to chew that they're going against SCJ. Just goes to show na they're going against experienced, but are they experienced enough?
Yeah, that's it's definitely real, no? Gusto ko rin dito pare na ma-mention kasi may mga player tayong hindi pa napapansin dito. Si J-Red pati si J-Hawker, men, na pwede natin bantayan dito in terms of their own performances here as if they can do their roles properly. Kasi yung SGJ naman, nakita naman natin, kaya nilang makipaglaro at a very high level. It's just that it doesn't happen all the time, pare. Kumbaga,
That's
consistency
true.
yung tanong. para sa SGJ at they were able to peak at the right time back nung playoffs ng Impact Spring, pero until when? 'Di ba? You can win now. How do you replicate? Paano mo uulit-ulitin yung nakuha yung resulta? Paano niyo uulit-ulitin yung panalo? Paano niyo uulit-ulitin yung form that is undeniably the best here in Impact? And that's what they need to find out, pare. Kasi until we've gone through all weeks ng group stage, pare, there will always be a question kung is it a good day for SGJ? Kaya ba nilang ulitin yun or hindi? So they need to really find their rhythm here, and that's gonna come down to the players. Kasi pare, it can't be only one player that's popping off. It can't be just theirs. It can't be just Tino. Everyone needs to be functioning here. And Tino, God bless his soul, man. He's been playing this game for a long time, and having been left behind by VP, now the world beaters, Virtus Pro, pare, he has a chip on his shoulder and he wants to get back to the master stage as soon as possible. Kaya for the sake of Tino, for the sake of SGJ, I hope na mahanap nila kung ano yung nawawala dito sa recipe nila.
I think that remains a big question mark, no, pagdating sa equation na isinusulat, or rather formula na isinusulat nitong SGJ. Pero let's look at Ekis Ekis right now, and I'm going to try and see if the grass is greener on the other side. Let's talk about etong si Owen King. EV towards SGJ has been such a proper spearhead sa pagpasok nitong SGJ. Para sa closer naman ito ni Owen King, pare, I think it's a matter of kung kaya niya pa nga bang panghawakan yung buhay niya when it comes to the rounds that will be presented sa harapan niya, or will he be able to eat that will be served on a silver platter properly, or is it too overwhelming for him to handle? Kaya a lot of questions right now for, I guess, granted, eto ang si Teng and Tino, they have history together, they know how one another play, they know, alam nila kung paano maglaro ang kabilang kapunan, they know how strong they could be, and at the same time, alam nila yung weaknesses ng isa't isa. So as SGJ, as good as they could be, I would still give them the edge, pero I wouldn't be too surprised if nakahawak nga ng matinong shield etong Ekis.
Yeah, with that being said, no, little birdie in my ear, pare, mukhang kailangan pa natin mag-break ng kaunti kasi kailangan muna makompleto lahat ng players natin para makapaglaro kasi syempre hindi naman pwedeng 4v5. So we're gonna go to a quick break, mga kaibigan. Wag kayong umalis kasi marami pa tayong CF action na matutunghayan dito sa CFS PH Impact Summer 2026. Welcome back mga tropa peeps. Ako nga pala si ㍍Match. Kasama si Emelo. This is CFS PH IMPACT Summer 2026. And we're here to give you guys a little update mga kaibigan. EKISQUAD is still missing a player here. At inaantay natin sila para makompleto yung lobby natin. But because of that length of time, meron tayong set forfeit. So currently, meron na tayong 1-0 para sa SGJ. We're gonna go to another break. Aabangan natin kung makakapaglaro pa nga yung dalawa nating squad dito. Pero if they don't show up, I think we all know what that means. That means that SGJ will win by default. Pero yun nga, as we said, papahinga muna kami ng konti mga kaibigan. Ako si ㍍Match kasama si Emelo. Don't go away. You guys will find out what happens after this break. Magandang gabi mga kaibigan, ako si ㍍Suave at kasama ko si Emelo. This is CFS PH IMPACT Summer 2026. Meron tayong konting update mga kaibigan, and it is that hindi po nakumpleto ang EKISQUAD sa lobby bago tayo matapos dito. And that means that they have forfeited this match. And that also means SGJ win 2-0 by default mga kaibigan. So that is going to be it para sa atin ngayon. Pero syempre, hindi pa naman tapos ang lahat. We need to give you guys a little update kung ano nga ba yung standings natin pagkatapos ng Monday ngayon.
Yeah, happy Monday talaga mga kaibigan. Let's take a look at the standings, no, kung ano nga bang kaganapan. Pero syempre, of course, alam naman na natin na mag-move forward itong SGJ with this 2-0 matchup. And I guess, instead of it not happening, tingin mo ba, ㍍Suave, do you think it would have been at least a close game, or tingin mo may konting labanan pa namang naganap?
Like, I'll tell you, I would have thought it would be fun to watch kasi may Teng tayo dyan, may JJF tayo na si Justin Jamero na shoutout nga pala na yung girlfriend niya pare. Nasa chat, good luck, love. Tapos panalo na pala siya sa hindi niya alam. Pero ito na nga yung standings natin yung lahat mga kaibigan para updated tayo sa lahat ng happenings dito sa CFS PH IMPACT Summer. And as you can see, Emelo, take it away.
Ayun, pare 100 ang plus minus to SGJ. Congratulations po. Pero on top is Alliance with 2 wins. ExGOVERNORS with 2 wins as well. MOMEN ESPORTS with 2 wins and a singular loss. SGJ, of course, nanalo sila ngayon, and HazMatz with a win and 2 losses, unfortunately. Meanwhile, for JY Bacolod Esports, they've gotten a loss. At ang sumunod doon ay ang EKISQUAD and JY Esports with 2 losses, which is rather unfortunate. Pero pare, ang ating kaitaas-taasan, which is Alliance Gaming at ExGOVERNORS, I think they are on a good trajectory, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that's what we expected, no? AG having come from Masters and being dropped down into Impact, sila yung magiging trendsetter dito sa Impact Summer. With that being said, meron nga naman tayo mga matches bukas. So, syempre, kung di pa kayo nakafollow dito sa CFPH page, go ahead and follow us already kasi meron tayong mga tatlong laban na magaganap kinabukasan. HazMatz laban sa ExGOVERNORS, the war of the JY rosters, no? JY Esports Davao versus JY Bacolod, and of course, Alliance Gaming laban sa EKISQUAD. So put that on your calendars mga kaibigan kasi magandang mga laban yung mga yan. And there's maybe a little bit of drama between these two JY teams. Pero syempre, no, mga kaibigan, that is going to be it for today. Emelo, meron ka ba mga message? May mensahe ka ba sa mga nanonood ngayon?
Sana all sa bumati na girlfriend. Good luck po sa JY matchup natin tomorrow. I think it's something to look forward to, and for our first matchup, it is going to be interesting. Pero ang ating last matchup, which is going to be Alliance and EKIS, I think it's a huge hurdle for them to get over. Kaso nga lang, again, I expect an amazing series from all of these matchups that will happen tomorrow. With that being said, ㍍Suave, do you think, ikaw naman ba, meron ka bang gustong sabihin bago tayo mag-let go?
Siyempre, hindi tayo pwede magpaalam na hindi tayo nagpapasalamat sa mga lahat ng bumuo dito sa CFS PH community. Of course, unang-una dyan, TNC Production, TNC Events, Smilegate Entertainment, si Boss Alex, Boss Mark, yung mga co-talents namin dito. Kayo, ang community na laging nanonood, whether it's Impact, whether it's Global, or whether it's Masters. Thank you for always being there, and the family of friends of all our players, and the players, of course, themselves, na sila yung nagiging stars dito sa server pag nagpapakita tayo dito. And with that being said, mga kaibigan, I will bid you guys good night. Muli, ako si ㍍Suave, kasama si Emelo. We will see you guys tomorrow for more CFS PH IMPACT Summer action. We will bid you guys good night and see you next time.